right, thank you for your patience, everyone. It is 4 o'clock. We will get started with our session. And you should have gotten I found a brand new welcome message feature. So hopefully that's working okay for you, and it should have given you the link to our slides today. And I'm going to put that in the chat again as well. And we'll get started with our session. So you are joining the 22-23 NCEES New User Basics today. We are using WebEx, so if you have questions, please ask those from your chat. And there is an option to send them to everyone or certain people. We always like if you send them to everyone because other people might have the same question you do. If you do have private questions, you can go under the 3 dots and open the Q&A, and we will answer those ones later if needed, depending on the privacy of the question. And then you can also turn your camera on or off. That's fine. I may be turning mine off to save some bandwidth later if we have any other sound or audio issues. And then there are closed captions available here. So we'll move on. I am Cammie Nairn. I do work for NCDPI for the last since 2015. And I do manage the NCEES, North Carolina Educator Effectiveness System, the online tool side of things. And I'm joined by the awesome Jennifer Bass, who can do the policy side of NCEES, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Bass, and I work in at DPI also, and I do handle the NCEES policy questions. So if you have anything that you need help with, or you do have any questions, just give me a call or message me, email me. Thank you, Cammie.
You're welcome. And also going to help us with our questions panel today is my colleague Audrey Long. If Audrey will say hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see you. Like Cammie said,
Audrey, your sound is really quiet. I did hear you say hello, but it's very quiet. All right, we're going to move forward. That's a little better. Yeah.
I got to plug in my extra. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
To help my other speaker. Like Cammie said, I'll be helping today. So if you have any questions, then like I said, just put it in chat, and I'll notify Cammie when you have a question or anything. So thanks again for being here.
Yep. And I did want to tell you guys, if you don't mind, I'm putting in the chat what job you do. We are going to be navigating NCEES, but I'll try to focus on your job areas, especially since you are the ones joining us today. If there's any specific questions you're coming to this session with, go ahead and put those in the chat, and we'll make sure we answer those today. Thank you. So if you guys can do that, we're going to look at the agenda. We're going to look at the how and why of NCEES accounts. How do you get in there and why? The access rights for users, site administrators, and district administrators, and then how we actually log into NCEES. And then we're going to go navigate NCEES Live. So if you would like, it's helpful if you probably have a second screen, but if you'd like to be in your NCEES and kind of follow along, especially if you're brand new to NCEES, that might be helpful. But I will be showing NCEES Live today for our new users. And then we'll wrap up with some additional resources for you and answer any remaining questions. And I see we have a principal here today. Anybody else want to put in the chat what kind of job they have? And we'll move on. So the how and why of NCEES accounts. So NCEES is all about the source systems. Nobody in the district can hand enter people into NCEES. It all comes from your payroll and HR staff data. It gets exported and uploaded to Staff UID. So we're going to look at that. So we call those our staff source files. And we have a teacher. Jessica's a teacher. Thank you, Jessica, in EC and Math. And Lamanda, I hope I'm saying that right, Pryor is our principal today. So thank you. We'll look at your navigational accesses. There are two components of NCEES. Component one is your plans, your evaluations, and your professional development plans. And then we have a second component to NCEES, which is professional development. And it actually kind of has two parts underneath it. So we have the free PD that is created by DPI and published in the NCEES catalog. So you have access to that professional development. But your district, if they opt into our home base and access, all our home base products, then you can also have access to the local PD office. And this would be managed by administrators in your district, and they can put their local PD offerings into NCEES, especially those that earn credit. And then anything that's completed in the local PD offerings will also show on the NCEES transcript that is in professional development. And welcome, Danny. I see you're a social studies teacher, Graham High social studies teacher. And Valerie is a BT and HR services director. So we do have a wide range of folks joining us today. Welcome, guys. So our source system, our source is a T&L person import file. It's called T&L because our system was first created as True North Logic, and then different vendors purchased it, and now PowerSchool owns the NCEES product. But our import file is still monikered with T&L, the True North Logic, the original system. So that's the only reason you see those initials T&L. You may occasionally hear about the person import file. It runs nightly and it grants access to staff members to the online system. Its main updates come from Staff UID and the HR systems. So somebody at your location is managing that and managing people's access to NCEES. There is a new document out there, and I'll click on that. Oh, if it will go, there we go. And if you have opened the slides, you have access to this link as well. This is a document that explains how staff get into NCEES and all the source systems that are involved and what happens every night. Payroll has been updated. It gets uploaded to UID, and then all of these areas feed data to our NCDPI operational data store. So your names, your UIDs, are you active or inactive, where are you located at? Your emails first come from PowerSchool if you are in PowerSchool, which most teachers and principals are. Other staff may not be in PowerSchool, so their emails come from the HR data, and that's from Link or HRMS if you're one of those districts that uses Link or HRMS. If you don't use either of those, then your district has to manually upload the HR data. This HR data also tells us if you're a beginning teacher, then that comes from your classification codes. And if you're a staff that is at more than one school in a district, then it also tells us what your primary school is or primary location is. And then we do also pull the license expiration dates for the certified staff and feed that up into NCEES. And then every night this gets calculated and tells NCEES who's active and who's inactive so you can access the system. And here's just the timeline. I won't go through all of that because we really just want to learn how to navigate NCEES today. So we're going to come back to our slides. And we do have all of these in the slides as well. This is an old link. I'll get that updated. We just added some additional folks, as we're going to see in a minute. Here's the staff roles that are also listed in that document on the last two pages. And here's the correct link, NCEES Data V8. It depends on the payroll budget code that comes from the chart of accounts that they pay you with in your district, what role you come into NCEES with. So if you are a principal and you're the head principal, you're getting paid out of budget code 114. And when the NCEES import file sees 114, it brings you into NCEES as a principal. If it sees budget code 121, then it sees you as a teacher classroom. So this is all the classroom teachers come into NCEES with the 121 budget code. And I thought I saw a different role. We got principals, teachers, beginning teacher, HR service, directors. So directors come into the system with the 113 budget code. So that's how you're getting into the system. And notice most of these roles are certified roles. We have one classified role that comes into NCEES, and this person is usually a lead person that actually is the NCEES district administrator that manages NCEES itself. Brand new this year is we are adding additional staff to get into NCEES, to get into component 2, the professional development, so that they can take PD and earn credits from the free PD that's offered by DPI, and if their district is offering local PD that they need to take. So we are going to be building on this, but these are our pilot people from the EC departments, and we're going to be holding a webinar for them in September and giving them some more information. These staff will not be assigned any evaluation plans. They are just in NCEES to do professional development. And here is a one-pager that's very good to learn more about that. This one-pager is also good. I'm going to copy the link and put that in the chat. And this is the PD only one-pager, but it's also good for all staff that are trying to learn how to get and find PD in NCEES. All of these links here will help you find PD in NCEES. There's videos, there's documents, and then there's this corner piece is linked to a spreadsheet of all the self-paced courses that DPI has published in NCEES. So that corner piece is very important as well. The only tab you might not need if you're not one of these new people that are only doing PD is that last page. It tells the new people what their navigation tabs are because they do not see evaluations. All right, so access rights. We did an admin start of year refresher. This is probably the links to last year's, but it is pretty much the same one. So either go watch last week's admin start of year refresher. It is posted. The recording is posted. Last year's recording is about the same, and it goes over in depth all those things we just talked about. So real quickly, everybody comes into NCEES as a user except for one person, one role. But all other roles come into NCEES as user access. This means you can see me, myself, and I. You can only see your data in NCEES. You get to see these tabs: home, my evaluations, staff evaluations, help guides, professional development, my courses, transfer credit manager, and mobile app. So you can access your own evaluation, but nobody else's unless somebody assigns those to you to be like a peer or a mentor. All NCEES roles, reminder, are user access level unless you are this role. If you are a principal, code 114, you get additional rights. This excludes assistant principals. They are codes 116 and 117. APs are user level access, and somebody needs to assign them access rights to any plans that they need to observe. So here's the principal role. The 114 is the site administrator in NCEES. So you guys come in with site administrator access, and not only do you get site administrator access, you get evaluator access. So you are assigned as the evaluator of everybody in your location. You get to see all the tabs above, plus you get to see my staff, which is your roster of your staff, and you get to see reporting. So those are all the areas you get to see, and we're going to go look at those live. You get to see all the plans in your location and the user data at your school. Site administrators have a role of principal, and remember, you get to be evaluators. Let's see who's got their, turn some sound off here. There we go. All right. Site administrators can run ad hoc reports that have been published to them and quick reports to help them view the data at their school. Site administrators can edit the My Staff page to set PDP types and teacher plan types for any user in their site. They can assign plan access rights under My Staff, Administration Staff Management for any of these access rights: evaluators, observers, peer observers, mentors, if somebody needs to reopen activities and plans, or if somebody just needs to view only plans. They can also manage calendar events or send targeted announcements for their site. Do note that the NCEES district administrator can assign like a AP, an assistant principal, with site administrator, but this does not give them the second piece. It gives them My Staff and reporting, but it doesn't give them evaluator rights. Somebody still has to manually assign plan access rights to APs, even if they are given site administrator rights. The district administrator is known as our reopener. They can reopen closed activities and plans for editing, and they're also the reporter because they can create ad hoc reports. So they can do that, and they can run all of the other reports that are available to them. So they have all this, pretty much the same tabs that the site administrator has, but additional access and additional data, because they can run reports for all the schools in their districts if they're a large district. They can also assume identity, which means they can help you troubleshoot if anything's going wrong in your plan. You want to know why you're not getting a green check mark or a complete. They can go assume your identity and see what's going on to help you troubleshoot the issue. Okay, they can also assign those plan access rights, and a lot of them do. District administrators can even unlock, not just reopen activities, but if they've been locked by the evaluator and they need editing, they can unlock and reopen that activity. All right, they can also make other people district administrators. They have a form that they need to fill out because those new folks will not have assumed identity or be able to assign others access rights. We have a form for the DAs to fill out after they've given somebody district administrator if those people need to assume identity or assign access rights. They can search user accounts and they can access staff and course dashboards, and they can create staff groups. So if your district needs a PT group or a different kind of group, they can create and manage those for the purpose of maybe sending messages to or targeted announcements to. The staff groups do come in handy when you're in different areas of NCEES. They can also manage the calendar events or send out what I just said, those targeted announcements. All right, there was another new step for district administrators, or a new assignment for district administrators with superintendent's roles. So if a superintendent is assigned the district administrator access, they now get view-only access to all plans in their location, which is what NCEES was supposed to do when it was created. So now it's in place. All superintendents, if they need to view-only access all plans, somebody needs to give them district administrator rights. Once that's in place, that's what they get. They can see everybody at every school, all the plans at every school, but they cannot edit any plans. If they need to do that, somebody needs to assign those extra rights. All right, any questions about how people get into NCEES and the different roles that we have in NCEES? Okay, so hopefully most of you are getting ready to get into NCEES, or maybe you've already gotten into NCEES, but we do have a single sign-on system that allows you to access our products. So that is found at http:// And if you're a totally brand new staff, your district will walk you through how to claim your account out here. Once you've claimed your account, then you can come here and you can come on the first page and put in your username, which will be your 10-digit UID that you've been assigned. And then you're going to click go, And then the second page, you're going to enter the password that you set up when you claimed your account. Once you click go for the password, your dashboard down here in the lower portion of the screen will load up. And you're going to be looking to access NCEES through the icon. It's a PowerSchool icon. So it's the cyan blue letter P that you're going to be looking for. And underneath it says Unified Talent. And on the side it tells you this is NCEES. So PowerSchool owns NCEES. It falls under their Unified Talent suite of products. And you can get into NCEES by clicking that icon. So just launch it and you will open NCEES. All right, so we're going to navigate and go look at NCEES. Let me escape here. Yeah, slide this over. There we go. All right, so you're looking at my login to NCEES. Your login will be similar. I may have some additional links than what you see, but we're going to look at the links that you see. So if we're ready, we're going to navigate. At the very top of the page is your blue bar. I do want to show you, if you are sitting here zooming in to see something, that sometimes things start disappearing. Notice how my black bar just went away. And you'll come out here and say, well, something's wrong with NCEES. I don't have my navigation bar, but it may be because you've zoomed in too far. So just zoom back out. And if you have a lot of links and you think, well, some are missing, where's the My Staff? It falls under this little drop-down arrow. So here's my Staff. All right, we're going to look at the blue bar first. And over here on the right-hand side, if you're in NCEES and following along, you can click on your initials. You can see this is where you can log out, and you can also manage your profile. All right, so here we go. We have my account. Let me zoom out just a little bit. You can actually add your picture here. It has to be 120 by 120 pixels for it to work. I tried this out today and uploaded my picture. So if you do want a picture out here, it has to be 120 by 120 pixels. You'll see the details that come in from your person import file. And I don't mind if you look at mine, so I'm going to show mine. As your username, you guys have a 10-digit number. People at DPI have what's called an NCID. And then your account status is active probably, or you won't be looking at it. Brings in your email address. We don't bring in home phone numbers. We bring in your staff positions. If I have license, it would show here. I don't have licenses because I'm not a certified staff. I'm classified. So if you are certified, you'll see your license expiration date and then what locations you are located at. You will have definitely some demographics here, like are you teacher classroom, are you counselor, are you principal? It will show here. Sometimes you may need to expand the demographics to see those. And then if you've been assigned a plan type, it will show here as well. You never need to change the password in NCEES. That's because we use the single sign-on system. So don't worry about ever changing a password in NCEES. If you ever have trouble getting into NCA Cloud, tell your principal. They have somebody that manages your NCA Cloud locally, and if they can't fix it, they'll contact NCDPI. All right, and then I see the rest of these because I'm state level. There's another area out here. This tab is called Snapshot. And it will show you any credits that you earn through the professional development that you take in NCEES. Not professional development that you're recording in another system for your district. Some districts use Frontline or HRMS to record all your credits. These credits are the ones that you earn in NCEES. And when you complete your courses here, you would be printing out your certificate and turning into your district for approval. Now, there are some districts like Brunswick that put all credits in NCEES. So find out about that. We do have webinars on professional development later this year to explain more about that. It'll tell you how many times you've logged in between whatever date is showing up above, because you can choose different dates to show. And if you've are going to be in the same district for several years, at the end of the year, this section will show you your summary evaluation ratings in a graph form, year by year. So that's under your initials. Any questions? PowerSchool's help is found under this question mark. And you can come out here and search if you need those. But we do offer help guides. So I would first probably go to the North Carolina help guides here. Here is the calendar. I try to put our webinars out here. We've just been, we've lost some folks and moved around, so we're late with the webinar calendar. I will get this updated by next week. But if your district is using the calendar, your site administrators can put things on the calendar here to remind folks of dates. And I am checking on, we had a question a couple days ago about can we notify people through the calendar. I do know that you can create targeted announcements that show up under the envelope. So if you create a targeted announcement as a site administrator, there'll be a red circle that shows up here that says you have an announcement you need to look at. So to have a red circle whenever there's an announcement for any staff that it goes to. All right, so let's look across at our navigation tabs. We'll come back home. So when you first land into NCEES, you're going to be on the home page. And on the home page, it's going to have like a welcome. It'll have a list of the webinars that we're doing. So far, we've planned August webinars. I just need to create September's, and those will be created in the next couple of weeks and give you those links so you can sign up for those too. If you've been assigned the DA role in NCEES, here is a section for you. Nobody else sees this except for the NCEES district administrators. Information for that level of folks and links to the newsletters that we send out every week. And then if you need support for the NCEES system, this is the process for support. There is a designated staff, usually your NCEES DA, that can open support tickets with DPI. So that's your home page. Next, you have my evaluation. Let me see if we have any questions. Oh, I didn't scroll down. Let's see. Director of Pre-K and Head Start has to have access to all the Pre-K and Head Start teacher evaluations.
I got that information for you, Cammie.
You do?
I have her I got her name and email address for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so if she has difficulty accessing the evaluations, it's probably because she's not been assigned access to them. We just need to make sure that she's in NCEES and that she's been assigned access. And we're going to look at that in just a minute where you sign that at. Thank you, Audrey, and thank you, Valerie. All right, yeah, because I don't want to show her information on the screen, so we'll look at that after the call. All right, thank you. All right, so on my evaluation here, excuse me just a minute.
Excuse me, Cammie.
Yes.
Valerie said that she does not have the support page that you just showed.
Valerie doesn't.
Right.
On the home page. This support right here.
I don't have that with all of the diverse children. Yes.
Okay, I need to check because PowerSchool was updating our PD only and accidentally erased some of the containers from this page. So I'm glad you told me that because
I have a blank. You're right, and I have a blank portion on that page.
Okay, I will follow up with PowerSchool to make sure because everybody should be able to see this container.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for letting us know. All right, so under my evaluation, we'll show your evaluations, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go assume a training account identity so you can see this. So if you are an admin, I did that really fast, but I went to user accounts and I'm getting ready to assume identity of a teacher. So I'm going to click on his head and shoulders. Now I am this person, and I'm going to go look at my evaluation. All right, now remember this is training staff, so they have a lot of evaluations that we test over the summer. So out here is what the plans look like when you are assigned. When you are assigned a plan, it's going to have this blue start button. So you can click the start button and do your first steps. In the evaluation plan, that will be your training and orientation. And in the PDP plan, it's going to be your self-assessment. So once you've started a plan, then it does show like this. It has the title. It tells you what day you started it, and then you can click back into the plan to open up your plan. And then you have all your activities in the plan. We're not going to go through all of these today. We're just showing you where this is found. I want to come back and show you where we found that. It was under My Evaluation. You were on the Current Evaluation tab, and here is your plans. You're either going to start them, or if they're already started them, you're going to re-access them. The Archived Evaluations tab, if you're being in a district and you had a plan last year, this is where you're going to find last year's plan that has been archived. So this is where your archive plans go. Now, what if I change districts? The new district is not supposed to be able to view my plans from my previous district unless they ask me first. So the plans are set to deactivate, and they go under the deactivated tab here if I've changed districts. So there's two different places to find past year plans. Archived if you're still in the same district, deactivated. Another thing that moves plans over to deactivated, if you ever have a glitch with your pay code and it goes to UID and it processes overnight, sometimes the system thinks you've moved. So it will move your plans over here. They aren't gone. They're just moved over to deactivated. Sometimes that'll happen with a current year plan. So if your plan ever disappears and you see the start plan again, come check over deactivated plans, and it'll probably be there. Tell your principal to tell us, and I can restore that plan. All right, any questions about your My Evaluation page? You do have some documents over here on how to start your plan. I need to relink this one. We were working on it, the PDP self-assessment and the training and orientation step. The next tab over is staff evaluations. So if you're clicking along, you're a teacher, you probably don't see anything here at all. If you're a principal or a district administrator, you will probably see at least the principal plans because the system assigns the principal plans and starts them. But you won't see anybody else unless they've started their plans. So, and you've been assigned access to them. So only started up here, only started active plans show on this dashboard. So your staff aren't necessarily missing. You will come over here to My Staff and check and make sure the plans are assigned, processed overnight, and that the people have started them. If you're a DA or somebody with reopen rights, here's a link to know how to reopen activities. This dashboard also shows the admins what status each step is in. They can click on a name to open the plan. They can click on a plan to open up a list of everybody with this plan type. This right here is not populated for my training staff, but this shows me what plan type is set on the My Staff page. So if this does not match this, there might be a problem. So watch those and make sure they match up. Tells me what location people are in. Are they completed with a step? Is the step locked? Is it open for re-editing? It's orange. Okay. If these are the ones for the PDPs, and then the remaining steps are for teacher or principal evaluation. You can actually click on the flower to get to that activity. If you're clicking on one that's not open yet, it may tell you you're not authorized to get there. It's just because the previous step has not been completed yet. Admins, you can also message people from this page. You can check a couple and message right here, message people, fill in your information and send them a message. You can message everybody without checking the boxes. If you have DA rights, you can archive plans from here. Sometimes a plan gets assigned that needs to be changed and the old one needs to be archived. Right there. You can filter the page, so you can add filters. Just remember, if you're playing with adding filters, well, I've only got PD. Let's do PDP. I need to update the table. So I did active plan equals PDP. And now I'm only seeing the PDP. Okay. There are also additional reports, which we'll go over in the reporting webinar. This first one downloads what's showing on the dashboard. It will limit itself to what's filtered. This other one is the evaluation completion report under here. That's the one you should run often and look at often. It's a very good report. Tells you who's done with what step in the plan. All right, that's your staff evaluations page. So we've navigated to home, my evaluation, and staff evaluations. Help guides will be really quick. I just want to show you where they're at and let you know. Let me zoom in. So here's the plans by plan type. There's a guide for the teacher or the support staff. There's a plan guide for the evaluator. These are view and do steps. So make sure you open these, especially before you report any issues, and make sure you followed all the steps. There are screenshots for each step, and Audrey and I make sure these are updated every year. Yeah. So see how it says do? Down here it'll say do, and then if it's view, it'll tell you can just go view that step. All right, so that's all the guides. Next over is professional development, and we do have webinars on how to thoroughly search professional development, but this is where you're going to go find PD. So maybe you want to learn how to be a mentor. I would go type in mentor and search for it. And I'm sorry, I'm in the training person site, so they're not going to see it, but there definitely is mentor courses out there. So just search for those. All right, do we have another question? All right. So the training, all right, thank you. The training people are not in the same publication for the courses site as everybody else. All right. So that's professional development. You can also go search courses by standard. So principal standards, you can see what's available. Oh, where's my available buttons? Let me stop impersonating just a minute and try this again. We can go back to professional development and see if they're there now. Yes. All right, so Explorer doesn't do anything in North Carolina, but maybe I'm trying to grow my leadership skills. I have a PD goal for that. I can click and see what's available. And now it shows me courses that align with leadership standard. All right, so that's just a quick overview of where to go find PD. Do go watch those links that I showed you earlier for PD. Once you've started a course, you can manage it under My Courses. We try to keep our current news updated for any new areas that you can go find PD. And then if somebody has recommended training to you, you scroll down, I want to make that bigger so you can see it. It will put their name on there. So if your evaluator has recommended training to a teacher, it will say recommended by evaluator so-and-so and tell you what date so that you can know who to go talk to about this course and when you need to start it and when you need to have it complete. If there is no name on that recommendation, it's because the course creator recommended it. So if you wanted to, under recommended, you could just hide it and not look at it. The required training works the same way. It just doesn't have hide. So if your evaluator required you to take this course, you could never hide it. The main area you're going to be in on this page is My Courses. So this is where when you start a course, it puts it in progress with the purple circle and allows you to get back to the course by clicking on it. If you've signed up for a course in NCEES and it doesn't let you into Canvas, say this course was created in DPI's Canvas, we call that our blue canvas. If it doesn't let you in, please tell your principal to notify. You can email me and Corey McNeil. He's our DPI Canvas manager, and we just need to make sure you have an account over in Canvas. We manually update that every so often, so of course when people join at different dates, we may have missed a few people. So we just need to know if you sign up for a course and it doesn't let you into Canvas, just tell us and we'll make sure to get you in. All right, and then we do have a whole webinar on all these other areas on the My Courses page. Here is where your transcript is. And it will show you all your credits that you've earned. You don't see this edit button, but you do have a link for your certificate right here in the blue, and it tells you how many credits are awarded. Now remember, these are only what is entered through NCEES. So if you've taken a course, it looks like this. If you've used Transfer Credit Manager, it looks like this. And you don't get a certificate because that's outside credit. You probably got a certificate from somebody else. You see these last two buttons. You can print what's on this transcript, or you can email this transcript to somebody that's requesting it. All right. Any questions? Are we going too fast? Okay. If you've been in a district for, 5 years and you're ready to start renewing your license, you can put the 5-year time frame in here to sort down this transcript if you've taken a lot of credits out here. And then you can just look at the credits that will apply to that 5-year time frame. Transfer Credit Manager, there's screenshots in the slides. You will only see my requests. And you can enter a new credit request, but only if your district has an approver. Do never use this until you know there's somebody in your district that can approve that, and somebody should be able to answer that question. You may have a NCEES PD lead or a county PD lead that can answer the question, do you have an approver in NCEES, before you enter outside credit request to show on your transcript under My Courses. The mobile app is where your district will let you know if you need to use that. They're putting PD into the NCEES system, and they are taking attendance. That is what the mobile app is for. And then if your district is using PD Playlist, which is a group of courses in NCEES, you'll be assigned to those usually, and you can come out here and work through your course list. So all the ECATS courses or MTS courses, those are some mentor courses are grouped together. And so districts are using playlists a bunch of different ways. All right, so if you are a site or district administrator, so that's the principal or the NCEES assigned district administrator, you can click on System Administration. I'm going to see a lot more links, but most sites and district administrators see user accounts. And this is where you can go search your staff. You can filter this page as well. We'll come back. System administration, user accounts. Staff dashboards is a good place for site and district administrators to go see who is showing in their system. Sometimes this page loads up a little slow. But once it gets there, we're gonna browse staff by certain demographics or certain locations. So you have choices on how to search. So if you want to go see who in here is, go by role, you can see all your classroom teachers just by checking this box. I'm not going to check it today because I don't want to show any personal information, but it will put a list of people's names here. If you're searching by the district level, you can group this by site, and it'll put the school name and all the people that fit that role, and then the school name and all the people that fit that role. And then over here are a bunch of different reports and information you can review. I'm back to system administration. This is where staff groups can be created. If you're doing a lot with PD, you may work with course dashboards. And let's see. Site administrators, you can send out targeted announcements under applications, targeted announcements. District administrators, you can create and run and publish ad hoc reports. So you can publish those to show up to site administrators so they can go run them. All right, and then you have additional plans as well. All right, so that's pretty much what you need to know about system administration. So let's go to the next over is my staff. And I do know that we have some principals, so they're probably working on this page. Let's try this. Okay, we'll use this. All right, so you need to make sure your site is up here. If you're a principal looking at this, you probably only have access to one site. If you're a DA, you probably need to choose which school or location to look at. So you're going down this list. I do see a question.
Someone's asking a question. They said they have 3 teachers that need to come off of their staffing list every year. She makes them inactive, but they have been gone for a few years. Should she put a help ticket in to get them removed?
Possibly. So if you're in here and you see a staff here that should be made inactive, you can go in their profile if you're an administrator, and you can edit it, and you can set them to inactive. However, during the overnight processing, if they're still active in Staff UID and CEDARS, then they will just repopulate back as active. So make sure that they're updated correctly in Staff UID from payroll. So check the source system that we talked about earlier. All right, we got about 10 minutes left. So that is, if you set them inactive and they don't come back active, then you're good. They should be okay. Any more questions about that? Make sure you check source systems.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that was where you go view their profile. And this is where you're going to set plan types. The system sets principal plans. They do not get PDPs. So I'm going to put no PDP. And the reason for that is their goals are set in their evaluation plan. They don't need a separate plan for goals. So they do all of their work in their evaluation plan. As you're setting the teacher plans, I always suggest that you set the evaluation plan and the PDP at the same time, because then it will process overnight. This is especially important for these like counselors and ITFs, so that they get the correct rubric in their self-assessment over here and in their observations and summary eval over here. So the one talks to the other. All right. So that is where you're going to set plans. Now, how do I know if they've started their plans? We have a link over here on the left, and it says all staff. I'm going to show that real quick. We're getting toward the end of our time. If you have access to a staff, and we've clicked on all staff under my staff, you can click the drop down, and it will either say edit or start under here. If it says start, the staff has not started their plan. If it says edit, then the staff has started their plan, and you can click in here and actually open the plan from here instead of going to staff evaluations. That's another way to access the plan. Some districts do go in and start their people's plans to make them active so they show up over here. But other districts say, no, I want my staff to go in and start their plans. So they come in here, they see the word start, they can come over here and they can click on the email link, and they can email the person to please go start their plan. Okay, so that's under all staff. I'll come back to, oops, sorry, clicked the wrong thing. My staff. If you want to see evaluations by group, skip over staff details. It's actually pretty much the same thing as my staff. See here, staff details. Evaluations. If you just want to work with a certain group of folks today, you can come in here and choose the plans that you want to work with. So this is one I don't have access to, so that's why I'm seeing this. But you can do this once you have access to a plan. And then, so apparently in this training account, I only have access to these plans, the principal plans. So I can click on them and go to the plans. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to show you for the leads that are here today under my staff is administration staff management. And this is where you're going to set access rights. So if you don't see this button, you probably cannot assign access rights. And we'll just need a ticket from somebody to find out why, or if you should have that button. So under here is a list of people that already have access, and we can look at their admin rights, or we can add people from here, and there's a help guide for that. So I'm just going to go look at somebody's admin rights to show you. If it says all staff at the school and it was set by school admin, that means the system set it. So it saw this person as a principal and gave them access as an evaluator already. If this person needed some other kind of rights, then I would come down here, select the plan. Now plans don't show up here until they've been set on the My Staff page and processed overnight. And then I can set who they need to access on that plan and then choose a right. Principal plans are actually set by a different process, so we're not going to see this bottom drop down here today. But it would show view only, mentor, peers, observer, if you've chosen like standard. Let me see if I can choose standard. Let's see, there we go. So you can see those. And PDPs, of course, is where you're going to see the mentor. All right. All right, so real quick, I just want to jump back to our slides, make sure we've covered most of our navigation today. And we're going to be wrapping up within 5 minutes. So do get your questions in if you have any other questions. All right, so I did have left you screenshots for everything we just went over live. I do like to show it live so you kind of know where to go. Here's the progress flowers that we talked about. And some additional information. If you're a principal, you're probably getting ready or have already done some beginning of year orientation if your school has started. If your school is starting next week, you may be doing, or then the next 2 weeks, you may be getting ready to do orientation with your new staff. This is a good slide. So we didn't really talk about this. When you're in the activities, like in an observation, anything with an asterisk is required, so they need to be done. If you want to send an email from this activity, those are found on the main activity, like the formal observation. You can email anybody that has access to this plan. And if it has a circle with an eye on it, it means you cannot get into this activity until something else has been done. So you just need to hover over the eye, and like up here at the top it says it's not available until you complete training and orientation. We use the observations. Educator evaluation is about growth and improvement. So the intended purpose of the North Carolina evaluation process is to assess the teacher's performance in relation to the North Carolina professional teaching standards and to design it for professional growth. So we always want to stress that we have those observations that supply formative feedback during observation 1, 2, 3, and peer. And then at the very end of the year is when you get the rating or evaluated with ratings. So only one time is the discussion on ratings. The other part of the year is we're looking at the formative feedback to grow the staff as they go throughout the school year. All right, we talked about these pages. I'm just going to click right by them. Here's that information on finding PD and transfer credit manager. We talked about the mobile app. Site administrators, what you see. Site administrators, you actually do now see user accounts. So I'll need to update that slide right there. And here is your My Staff page. We talked about setting plan types and how to set access rights, the different plan types to assign. Do you want to get this in the chat? So I hope you've learned some things today. I hope if you're brand new, you feel a little bit more comfortable about navigating NCEES. I'm going to paste our feedback form in here. Please do give us your feedback, what you like, what you didn't like. And the last couple of questions in the feedback are, do you want a certificate for today, attending today? So you'll fill out the last two questions to receive your certificate. It will be for 0.1 CEU. And you must turn that printed out and turn it in to your district. It does come in the body of your email. So you're going to need to print out your email to turn in to the district. Here is our new NCEES site. I'm going to copy that and put it in the chat. We had a Google site and it is going away. If you are used to seeing the Google site, please update your bookmarks to this site. This is where you're going to find your information. Here's orientation information, information for teachers, the teacher manual, and so on. And it's got policies, procedures, resources, all kinds of information out here for NCEES. And then the other area we have is for our administrators that are managing NCEES. We have this link in the slides. This is where you can go find out about beginning of year and find additional system help for those of you that are managing NCEES. Here's our last year webinars. If you want to view reporting before we actually have this year's reporting webinar, here's a link to all of those webinars. And then down here at the bottom is a link to our upcoming webinars. And I see it's right at 5 o'clock, so we're going to wrap up. I do want to thank you guys for attending today. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but I'm going to hang on in case you have additional questions. I do want to thank you and thank you for asking your questions today. I hope they're helpful, and we'll follow up on any that we didn't get.